asking you, you wake up early in the morning, you get yourself dead. How can you feel? You wake early up in the morning, you get yourself, you are dead. How can you feel?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mazes, okay? As the rhetorical question that followed the clip you just watched that says, you wake up in the morning and you find yourself dead. How can you feel about it? Now, let me bring that question back home where it makes sense. In my state of Anambra State and some parts of the Southeast, a very peaceful region until some of our brothers and our kith and kins gone rogue in the name of protecting their motherland. Suddenly, we now have a place where, if I paraphrase the clip you just watched, it could be you wake up in the morning and you find out you are kidnapped. Yep, kidnapped. Very close to me in the last 3 weeks. Millions of naira lost. One on the 23rd of 29th of December, and ransom paid. Eventually, after 6 days, the individuals, maternal cousins of mine, were released. Second, on the second on the 20th of this January 2025, again, very close to me, very close relation, kidnapped. All the money in his account wiped. Eventually, even more money paid, and he's now released. How would you feel if you wake up, as the brother from Kenya would rhetorically ask, you find out that you're dead? But in our case, we thank God that no life was lost. But we just found out that individuals were taken and that we are now living in a very awkward. So, people, this is the new reality that is before us today, right? The new reality that is before us, the new reality of my dear state of Anambra. I hope you can hear me loud and clear, those of you watching me. And if you want, well, please, I may ask you, let me know where you are watching me from, where you are joining Mazezoke from. This day, I'm going to be looking at the Kidnappers Den hotel used as kidnapper den. That's what I call the Kidnappers Hotel Den. The destruction that happened in Anambra State, was it wrong or was it right? Now, in the last 2-3 days, in some of the elite forums where we do belong, where we say the who is who in Anambra State, those in there, the decision makers in the state, we have in the last 3 days been arguing amongst ourselves, both those in government and those who are saying that we need common sense to return in our dear state. The argument has ensued: what should we do? Is it right to destroy these properties? It has divided opinions. Some of us believe that, of course, those properties should be demolished, while some think no, those properties should be converted into, into better use rather than to destroy them. While some think it is better you destroy them to send in shock so that parents will know that if they do not caution their kids, they would end up having no retirement home. Well, that sounds plausible. That's where I actually stand on the third option. However, a friend of mine rang me up earlier in the day. I believe he may be watching this program now. And he said to me, "Hi, Chief, let me ask you this question. How come? Let me find his argument because I do not want to misquote him, but I found his argument very, very profound. So, and his argument is as follows. According to the man in question, that something like this was done by the former governor of Anambra State under Peter Obi when eventually, you remember, the owner of the house, the owner of the hotel went to court to say that Peter Obi was in a haste to destroy his property. Then he argues, is it not better to do a proper investigation before demolishing someone's property? But another thing is that the kidnappers are in the bushes. We all know, as we are told by the governor and those around him, that they know where they are in the bushes. Shouldn't we be expecting to see the bushes being cleared? At no point before the demolition of houses and hotels, according to him, I'm now positing the arguments that ensued in this forum. I'm now telling us what someone pushed to me. And he says, and I quote, but another thing is that the kidnappers are in the bushes and we know where they are. Also, the account from all the victims so far released says that they were taken to the bushes. Suddenly, we see houses being demolished, but we see no bushes being cleared. That was like an arrow that pierced my mind. And that got me thinking. Those, as I said at the beginning, two of my maternal cousins kidnapped on the 29th of December 2024. According to them, they were taken to the bushes in Orumba, in Anambra State, somewhere after Oko, the home of Chief Alex Ekweme, late. Then you begin to wonder, these men were not taken to homes, nor were they taken to hotels. I fast forward. A brother of mine was kidnapped on the 20th of January, that is last week, Sunday. He was released a week today, early in the morning. When he called me and when we spoke, he said that he was taken towards Oboji, that same vicinity that the first one was taken to. According to him, they did not take him into any home. Now, the question is, if we have to identify a pattern that these men, according to our governor, that they go to a bush and they, take over people's bush or land or whatever, and they erect an altar or a shrine or whatever it is, and they do all manner of evil. Should Anambra not be demanding to see more bushes cleared? Should we not be demanding that we see more drone being used with the military, with the Operation Udogachi, to go in and clear these places so manned by these irredenties, these criminals, in whatever guise, even if you call them agitators, you call them kidnappers, you call them whatever name, shape, or form. They are criminals and they should be routed out. If you recall, 3-4 years ago, when the menace of Fulani herdsmen was ravaging everywhere, and all we hear every day is Fulani, 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 Fulani. And I recall that many of you actually took offense when I posited that it is absolutely, in my worldview, wrong to keep shouting Fulani, Fulani, Fulani. It was right to stick to crimes when they were committed, irrespective of who committed them. And the same trend is going on now. There were 3 Fulanis that were captured in my state of Anambra. And the buzz that has made brought me to a point of questioning, should we really bother who committed a crime? Or should we bother, irrespective of who you are, you commit a crime, you're caught, you should be squarely dealt with. Does it feel better and does it feel lighter that your own brother that speaks your language kidnaps you, abuses you, wipes 50, 60, 70, 80 million from your account, forces you to still pay 10, 20, 15, 30 million to him to release you? Does that feel like someone loves you so much when that happens to you by your own kith and kin? Does that feel different when a Fulani headsman or a Maruda from Kafanchan or from, I don't know, Mali does the same thing to you? Just like when people make this argument, oh, those that commit the crime in the state of Anambra, oh, they are not majorly from the Anambra, they are from some accuse the people of Ebonyi State, some accuse the people of Olu or Osun or some, in Imo State. And I say, I do not give a hoot about a criminal coming from Kogi, Yaba, Onitsha, Kafanchan, Zungeru, Ebonyi, Imo State. I don't care where the criminal comes from. The job of the police and the job of the security agent is to make sure that that person is, gotten hold of, and that person is dealt with within the ambit of the law. If we stick on this trajectory of looking at issues dispassionately, irrespective of who is involved, then we have less likelihood that someone will wake up to accuse you of either ethnic crime coloration or to, pander into some certain primordial sentiment based on some trying to pander to your emotion that, oh, the reason why they commit this crime is because they are fighting for you, fighting to liberate you. Then I ask myself, liberate me from what? What manner of arrant nonsense of a liberation is that? Crime is crime, irrespective of how and why you do it. You want to liberate me, then you kidnap me and take my millions. You are nothing but a criminal. Nothing is less. He's not less a criminal because it's done by you, your liberator, or that is done by someone who came to your house with a cow, or that is done by someone who says he's done crime in the name of religion. Crime is crime, and crime must be investigated, and crime must be dealt with. Once more, my name is Mazes. Okay, please subscribe to this platform if you haven't. Let's get into the meat of the matter today. Right? Let's get into the meat of the matter. Again, let's go on. Now, as I said, in this hotel that you can see on the screen, it's called Udoka Golden Point Hotel and Suite Limited. And this hotel is said to be along Onitsha Owerri Road, Onugu Umo is a village, Oba. The telephone number is there. The allegation is that this hotel housed a couple of, graves. They say 30 graves, 30 graves. Not only that this hotel housed these graves, that there were also shrines that were discovered on the top floor of the two-story Udoka Golden Point Hotel and Suites. Eventually, this hotel was demolished. As you've seen, as we have published before, you have seen the demolition of that, and that will form the basis of our conversation. You can see a pinned message in this. Those of you on YouTube, if you so wish, you may join us to air and have your say, if you so wish, using that link.
Golden Point Hotel and Suites, sited along the Onisha-Owerri Road axis, appears to be what it is, hotel. But that's a facade.
Now, when we look at this is classified by the state as grave, what you're looking on the screen here. Now, earlier today, I got a report from, because what we do here is we look at every, so that no one accuses us as being one-sided. We look at everything here. The owner of the hotel apparently is not in the police net, which poses a question. If this hotel was being used for kidnapping, why should the owner not be in the police net? The owner wrote, "I am not afraid of any investigation. Owner of the demolished Anambra State Anambra Hotel denies allegation of kidnapping then." And I read, my eyes are getting probably weaker. Let me see if I can make them bolder. Then I read for you. Okay, hold on. I'll go on. I'll try to bring that on screen so that we'll read it all together. But let's go back to here. But pay attention that what you're looking at here is grave, as they say. But the owner says that these are fish pond, that these are not grave. See? Get your thinking cap on.
On the contrary, the building masks heinous criminal activities ranging from kidnapping and other violent crimes. Barely a week after Governor Chukwuma Soludo signed the Homeland Security Framework into law and the mantra of see something, say something issued, the Homeland Strike Force unearthed the evils of Udoka Golden Point Hotel and Suites, Oba. Deputy Governor Dr. Onyekachukwu Ibezim leads a demolition squad to pull down the hospitality home that perpetrates such mind-boggling hostility. The horror story is visible at the topmost floor of the two-story building. It's an atrocious sight to behold.
Now, atrocious sight to behold. And when you look at this, one thing that comes to mind is what exactly is going on here. When I look at this and the owner of the property says that this is fish pond, I'm like, are you guys kidding me? These are only blocks, not plastered, not tiled. So who does that? Who uses such fish pond in 2020, 24, 25?
Chains of graves and a shrine in clear view, rooms in shambles, and expended bullets bring into light the reprehensible acts that have been committed. The demolition begins in accordance with the Homeland Security Law. The Deputy Governor, Dr. Ibezim, makes it clear that this is not a symbolic act. It's a serious response to this despicable crime.
There is still room for amnesty. Let them come out. We have all sorts of training going on for the youth, the 1U 2 skills which have upskilled, and a lot of things, employment going on for the youth and others. The state has now said no, zero tolerance to all sorts of criminalities. Our people must go on their businesses unharassed.
Taking the structure down completely, the team moves to another location, still in Oba. to seal a facility reported to be in the same line of business. The deputy governor gives the hotel owner 48 hours to explain why the structure will not be demolished, even as investigation is ongoing.
What we are doing now is, with the information we've so gathered about this hotel, we are selling this hotel, okay, and then we are giving you 48 hours to bring up your evidences, because the security agencies are also going on with their investigation. If it is not done well, if you don't show clear-cut evidence why you should continue in this kind of business, we'll bring it down, and the government will take ownership of the land. So for now, this place is safe.
In the light of the discoveries, the state government urges members of the public to support the war against crime and criminality and report any activity that is unclear to them in their areas.
Now, this is two questions comes out of the clip you just watched. Was the owner of the hotel that was destroyed given 48 hours to clear why the hotel should not be used, as this one is given? Is it because that this other hotel yet to be destroyed is newer? I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense out of some of these things. What could be the reason why this hotel was not destroyed as the other one? I do not know. I have no answers. But one thing that is very clear is, make no mistake, if you're wondering where I stand, very clear. I make bold to say that I am with anyone who is found guilty of running any of these hotels here in this manner, and where people are kidnapped and taken to. That hotel should be demolished without any waste of time. You know why? In the Southeast, the Southeastern people are a people that value their property. They are a people that value their ancestral homes. They are a people you can shame with properties. So, I believe for government to induce shock in the system and induce, concrete turn of events, more of these should go down. If a house is seen to be used in warehousing people that are kidnapped for ransom and even killing human beings for whatever means, they should. Imagine a young man who is in his whereabout in his village. His parents know that their son brings people in, and suddenly, when the parents know that if they do not turn this young man in and his gang, that when the government comes, they will destroy their home. And if their home is destroyed, mean one, they become homeless. Two, the shame. Three, that means there will have to be they need to find another place to go. Not within that community again, right? That is the issue. That is the issue at stake here. Like I said to you people, when we understand and look at this issue dispassionately, we can posit our argument and look at things the way they ought to be. Take a look at it this way. One side, we have heard from one side of the story, that is from the government side. The government is saying, oh, this is actually what happened. However, on the other plank, we also have where the owner of the property made some unsettling statements that it's not I mean, it's not meant for me to judge. I'll quickly bring that statement up here. Let's all read it together. Then you guys would, make up your mind as to what you make of it. Let me quickly bring this up here. This was published by Solar blog. Solar Kuti blog. It says the owner of the hotel says, I'm not afraid of any investigation. Owner of demolished Anambra Hotel denies allegation of kidnappers 10. The Udoka Golden Point and Suit in Oba, a Idemili local government area of Anambra State, has been demolished amid allegation that they served as a kidnappers den. Reports and videos circulating online claims as the hotel located at the along the Onitsha Owerri Road contained multiple graves, a shrine, and other suspicious structures. A widely shared video suggested that the top floor housed over 30 graves along the bloodstains and firearm and ritual items. However, the hotel owner, Mr. Udoka Callistus Ejim, has strongly denied these allegations, calling them shocking and baseless. In a telephone interview, he explained that he initially rented the property in 2021 from one Mr. Mwabo, who also is known as Ichie Aja, who is reportedly the younger brother of the President General of Oba. He later purchased the property in 2003 after being persuaded by the seller, even taking a bank loan to complete the payment. Mr. Ejim alleged that shortly after the purchase, dispute arose between him and Mr. Nwabo, who he claimed wanted to reclaim the property. He suggested that the demolition might have been influenced by the personal conflicts. When asked about the alleged graves found within the building, he insisted that the structure existed before he bought the hotel, stating that the seller had described it as a fish pond at that time. I am not afraid of any investigation, Mr. Jim said. I have already reported to the police in Oka and requested a thorough investigation into the matter. The seller should be questioned about the so-called grave. Regarding the claim that firearms, blood, and shrines were found on the premises, Mr. Ejim dismissed them as false, challenging anyone with evidence to present video or pictorial proof. He also criticized the government for demolishing the property without conducting proper investigation, vowing to seek compensation for his losses. At this point, if you're watching me and you know and you have the contact of Mr. Ejim, please reach out to NjenjeMedia. We would want to have him here and speak to him, if not for anything, for the spirit of fair hearing. The number that you can reach us on is +234 708 004 2206. We will be glad to invite him to sit down with him and review this. Now, based on the things he has said, the following got me thinking, and I must say the following here. Mr. Ejim said that it is not true that two things here. He says, regarding the firearm, blood, and a shrine, he now said that those were false allegations and there is no pictorial proof to back this up. Secondly, he also denied that the graves, look at it here, he insisted that the structure existed before he bought the hotel, stating that the seller had described those graves as fish pond. People, I do not know whether any of you have ever done the business of fish pond before, but let's look into the hotel. This, with those feathers here, at the topmost floor like the penthouse of that hotel. These are feathers. There is no way. If the man says he's not aware, I don't know if he's now behaving like Buhari, who is never aware of anything that happened within his government. I do not know what to call this. At some point, bullets were also shown. He said that he needed evidence. Now, one thing that I felt uncomfortable, and I have sent this information to some of those in government. I said I felt so uncomfortable that there appeared not to be pictorial, video, and documented evidence as to what they found in here. I do not think that the videos we have are enough evidence unless the state have some more that they are not sharing with us. I would have expected that the state would invite not more than, because this is one, when you want to do this, serious fight, you must invite nothing less than 5 to 10 media houses. Let us come with our own cameras ahead of time, and also parade those suspects too. Even if it means them backing the camera, let us all, our staff members who are correspondents in Anambra there, should ask them questions too. In as much as I wholeheartedly support what the Anambra State government is doing to bring sanity to Anambra State, we must carry this war in a transparent way, that there should be no doubt before anybody is being accused of either high-handedness or playing hanky-panky or dancing into certain tones. Recall that when Bakassi came out, Bakassi was a very veritable tool to clearing out criminals. But suddenly, before you knew it, Bakassi fell as a result of being used to fight opponents and settling political scores and even collecting debts. Before you knew it, that was its end. One thing, that anytime there appears to be crisis in the southeast, Aba and Onitsha had always come up with solutions. In this case, if you ask me, I believe that if these processes are fine-tuned with more documentations, that even if after a house is destroyed and somebody goes to court, that the judges will be drowned and overwhelmed with evidence, that they will say, come on, Oga, you're not supposed to even come to court. You should go to jail from the court. But it will be a thing of disaster that when these things are taken to court, the state will be found with a back foot. That will be a disaster. It's too early. The Operation Udogachi is barely 1 week old. We need to get these things right before things get out of hand. Now, if Mr. Jim, who says that nothing was found, then
Brutality home that perpetrates such mind-boggling hostility.
When he talks about this, please, the question that I have now, let's listen to this at this part. There were bullet shells found in there. Will he say that he is not aware of this? Please, let's listen.
Story building. It's an atrocious sight to behold.
Now, he said that this, we should ask the original owner. Then it makes no sense. You bought the property. You kept whether fish pond or grave. But even you say that this is not grave, Oga, sorry, it's not making sense. I wish I would ever get to speak to you. I put it to you. Because this cannot be fish pond. if you put water here, the water is going to drain, because these are mere blocks that were not plastered. And there was other video that showed stains of blood. This, in the year 2024, does not in any way, shape, or form looks like something that is, called fish pond or anything. No, it does not look like, right? So I don't understand this argument. However, what I'm saying is we cannot also judge by merely looking at it, but I think if you apply common sense will tell you that there is no way something like this is a fish pond. And by the way, who does it? Who puts fish pond on the rooftop? Who does it? Who does a penthouse with a, come on, the second floor, you put a fish pond? I don't know. We are not Taiwan, neither are we Japan. We are not that sophisticated at this point that we should be, putting these as fish pond.
Chains
So
of
the man
graves and a shrine in Clearview, rooms in shambles, and expended bullets.
Exactly. And the man said they should show him evidence of bullets. These are evidence of bullet shell are seen by the cameras of the reporters that went there. Again, I say, if you know the owner of the hotel by the name, please share our number with him. We want to invite him to have this conversation to help enlighten the public. If the government is lying against him, our job here is to be as neutral as we can, to bring, the oppressed, to bring the underdog, to say, let the world hear your story. In this case, we are willing. Get him our number on +234-708-004-2206. We'll be glad to speak to him in any language he may wish that conversation will take place. Even if he's in hiding, we may also, as long as he has internet, we'll do our best to bring him to speak to the world. That's our duty here. So, people, what do you think? Do you think it was wrong for the government to have demolished these hotel and the other houses that demolished in Ozobo over the last week? Or do you think that government has erred? Some of you have said, well, government should have kept those properties and used them as orphanage homes or used them as headquarters for police or whatever. In the other hand, some people have argued, had the government done that you never know, when another government comes in, they might go to court, and in the way the judiciary works, they might eventually get the upper hand, and those houses are given back to them, and we go back to square one. Another school of thought says, well, it is actually right to destroy these things, because when you destroy them, it sends shockwave into the society for the citizens to know that these things, this is a very bad thing to do, and it should not be tolerated. Another school of thought thinks, even adds to the previous argument, that, well, even when you go ahead to do this, it should not be for the long term. It should be for the short term only. And the longer term, we should look at more judicious way of doing this. Where are you standing? You watching me now, do you believe that government should intervene on this, destroy the property in question? Why these properties are destroyed? What personally I am missing in all this is those involved. Who are those taking these individuals into this hotel? Who are those collecting this money? I want the government to do a comprehensive investigation. You know what I mean? Recall when EFCC does certain things, they will give you like a chart. See this money here, this 20 million here was collected by this person here. So, just give us, give us something. I think 2 weeks is enough for you guys to do that. Give us something that will connect the dots. This person kidnapped this person at this place, kidnapped the other person at this place. 20 million was paid, 20 million was taken to here, 2 million getting to. Do you understand? Give us these mappings. It's there. These security agencies can do this so that these are evidences. When people see them, they know that the government is serious, right? Again, if you think you don't want to join us, that you just want to call, the number to call is on your screen, +23470 sorry, +2347080042206. You can call us on WhatsApp only, because many of you are joining us from the diaspora. We do not want you to spend your money. Just call us on this number, then you have your say. Now, if I come back to this bullet and I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, are you sure? You saw no evidence. Well, evidence. As they say in street parlance, you will explain, tire. No evidence. But here, evidence, Boko, evidence, bracketed. On another news, before we come back to this, while you're joining us. Afe Babalola, that is the man who fought, how do I say that now? The man who arrested Dele Farotimi. When this issue broke, I said, if I were him, I wouldn't have arrested Dele. The man is 90 something, is it 94, 95? He is closer to the departure lounge than he's going to live more. Nobody knows when anybody will die, but by age, you can see that he's closer to his departure lounge. He has lived a very flamboyant and, quote, in parentheses, successful and fulfilled life. He should have let that case go, or he should have quietly gone into a civil suit where Dele Farotimi should be going to court without telling anybody. He should go into court until Dele Farotimi is convicted or acquitted. But by the fact that he used and he did the same way, the same mistake Burna Boy did with Akbe. Akbe has now opened a boutique shop on the head of Burna Boy. Akbe came back, was it yesterday? He was doing his middle finger with oil. That means he hasn't stopped, because he felt that his rights have been violated, and he's gone ahead and he's doing the things he's doing back to back. In the same way, in the midst of all this confrontation and Barakboism, in the words of Patrick Obiagun, it appears that there is circle where the Oni of Ife had intervened and the old man finally agreed. But if you ask me, the agreement is like when we were young. When my mom will give you a backhand index slap, you will be crying. When you have cried for 1 hour, all the tears in your face are now turning like powder. The nose, you have allowed them to run. There is nothing coming out again. At some point, you've turned you will turn the tone of your cry. Mama Sisiano Mundo, meaning, my mommy, please tell me sorry now so that I can shut up, because she has totally ignored you. At some point, when she now says, shut up there, and you say, okay. If you ask me, I think that's what happened here. Somebody have seen that his boxers, Dross and Hafshimi, all joined together, has been removed. He's now trying to find a middle ground. But anyway, better middle ground than lead. Have a listen. You've had it loud and clear. On this occasion, he said yes. The modalities as to whether Dele Farotimi would have to apologize publicly to Baba is to be worked out. The fact and the main issue here is that Baba has said yes, that he's not going to pursue this case anymore. Now, let's come back to this issue of graveyard. Let me take comments by Austin Akbara. Austin Akbara made us to understand, and he said, "Hello, sir. If you look very well on the grave, you will find out that those so-called graves are fish ponds. Please check or look at it very well again. Again, get your handkerchief, wipe your telephone. Let's look at it all together. If these are graves or fish ponds." Now, from what we can see here, you can see that these grave fish ponds are in twos, 1, 2, and there is a footpath in between. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you can see, for those of you who are into animal husbandry, into fishery, please make it make sense to me. Maybe I'm the one that is missing the point. You can join me or you can call. But please make it make sense to me. How does this, Austin Okpara, how does this look like fish pond? I understand that I have seen fish ponds as small as this, right? But those fish ponds are actually well tiled or plastered like the Togo plaster that waters cannot leak. Bear in mind, this is up and there is a decking beneath. So if you do not put tiles very well, the water will be leaking into the flats or the rooms in the hotel rooms down. Bear in mind that these things smell too. Even if you change the water every single 2 days or whatever, it smells. So I don't know, I'm not taking sides here, but I'm trying to say, can someone explain to me that this thing done by block, this is mere block work. You can see the on the floor, broken blocks, unkept. How does this translate to, even if it's an abandoned fish pond? An abandoned fish pond cannot be like this, because this, unless you are trying to convince me that this is a fish pond still under construction, but to tell me that this is a fish pond, then I may be asking you to please help me buy a new set of eyeglasses. Please, my eyes are not seeing properly. If I'm to be convinced that these are fish ponds here, it's going to be a very, very, bitter pill for me to swallow. But that's a very massive one, because it's not only bitter, it's pretty huge. Show me, where is that? Augustine Okpara, I mean, that's, I'm taking you on that, because I'm just taking your comment, and this is what you said. Look at it very well. You don't think these are graves. This you think is a fish pond. Okay. Then you apparently also gone ahead to knock the governor. Well, that is between you and the governor. I do not want to make enemies unnecessarily. Okay. So that's it. Mine is to bring this to us. Is this right for this hotel to be demolished? Is this right for those houses to be demolished? And have given us various arguments for and against from all angles. Finally, one thing is very clear. The state of Anambra, the entire Southeast, and the entire nation, East, West, South, and North, must find peace. I also want to thank the Nigerian army by the way they are taking the war to the bandits across the nation, to the criminals. I can see a new vigor in the energy to tackling this. Some of it is as a result of vast land, but within the Southeast, honestly, 29,000 kilometers square, it's with about 30% built up, it's honestly, it isn't that huge thing. With technology, those in the bush, those in the bushes, those taking people and taking them. My brother that was kidnapped a week today, his car is still with them, even when they wiped millions from his account, and they still forced us to pay money for him to stay alive. It's a tragedy, really, it's a tragedy. And the state must bring these things to their knees. I am Mazes. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. Like I said to us, and I must keep doing, that I will strive for these streams not to exceed 1 hour. If you haven't joined this platform, by all means, please, 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 I beg you, click on the like, share, and subscribe button. Support us in any way you can by sharing our content and by using the super sticker or super chat if you so wish. We appreciate you and we thank you for your support. Good night and bye.